Hi there all, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cannon of the Gazette, and I'm joined by my regular partners here, former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champions, Rick Green and Chris Nilan. Rick, as a former defenseman, what's impressed you most about the Canadiens Noah Dobson, who was their big off-season acquisition?
I think his consistency, his ability to understand where he should be, where he shouldn't be, dependable, a guy that, you don't really notice him very much, but he seems to be so sound in so many ways. He doesn't get beat one-on-one. He's got a great shot, mobile, does a lot of things really well. 29 points, got 9 goals. He picks his spots well. Very seldom does he get on the wrong side or the offensive side of the play. He's always going to be in a position where they have to go through him to get to the net. So very impressed. I didn't know much about him, but I think that he's doing such a great job. And like I said, I don't think he draws a lot of attention, but I do notice him in the way that he doesn't make many mistakes, and he's going to be a critical part of the team. Stability back there that you can use in any situation, and he's going to get the job done because he plays well each and every shift.
Knuckles, he looks like one of those guys, like, he doesn't do, like, there's not one single thing that really stands out about him. He just seems to do everything well.
Yeah, he's consistent in all parts of his game. He's been really, again, I seen him here and there when he was in New York, but, coming here and, with the new style defenseman in the NHL, Hughes, Makar, all these Bobby Orr defensemen, Hudson, right? This guy doesn't have that flash in his game, but he's really consistent. He's good at an all-around game for a defenseman. He is. And he got that offensive piece too, which is awesome. Get good hockey sense. I think we heard one of the knocks in New York. He's not great defensively. He's played well here. There's no question he's played well. And you got to give credit where credit's due. So, yeah, his all-around game, I think he's that solid D-man on the right side they've been looking for, right? And they had to pay for him, and they did. And now he's here. I don't think he's let anybody down.
No, Rick, one of the knocks on him in New York is he's a big guy, but he's not necessarily really physical. But there's other ways, he uses his body in other ways, right, to make himself effective with a long stick and boxing guys out, etc.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get pushed off the puck. I mean, he doesn't need to run around and smash guys into the boards. That's not his game. He's a smart player. He's like I said before, he's mobile, so he's able to get to these areas. He's able to defend well because of his mobility, and he's smart enough to realize that even under pressure, he makes the simple plays and doesn't try to force plays that aren't there. So those are the type of things you love to see in a defenseman, that you know what you're going to get each shift, and he brings it every game, and very seldom do you see him in trouble, and that's a guy you want to have, in your lineup.
Sometimes, Greeny, like you just have to get in someone's way. Really, and he does that well. He's got good body position a lot of times on guys, and he's a big D-man back there. You can't just push him off the puck. So yeah, he does a lot of good things, no question.
When you talk with him, he's a very intelligent guy, a soft-spoken guy, and he sort of plays that type of game, right? A smart, sort of almost quiet type of game. You mentioned him, Knuckles, sort of a little bit like Rick. Does he remind you of any other defenseman that you played with over the years?
I guess a little bit of Larry, Big Larry, too. When you think of Big Larry offensively and being able to play in his own end, we know Larry, when he got mad, boy, he could hurt someone, but a little bit of Larry that way, right? Big D-man like that. And yeah, but, I don't want to, disparage Larry in any way, saying this kid's Larry, but, there's some similarities, size-wise, his offensive ability, and just the way he plays the overall game. Larry's good at everything.
Including beating up Dave Schultz.
Yeah.
He's been paired with Mike Matheson on the top pairing, Rick, and they've been really good together. Mike Matheson's been like outstanding. I think you can make an argument Mike Matheson's even been the best defenseman on the team this season. Would you agree? And like, how much does playing with Dobson impact that?
They feed off each other really well, and I've always talked about chemistry and pairings, and it didn't take them long before they understood what type of game they need to play with each other. And that is a huge bonus when you know your partner is going to be there before it actually plays out, anticipation, if you will. It gives you a real level of comfort and understanding that these guys are logging a lot of minutes. They're going to be played in critical situations, and they're doing that because making smart decisions, and they're very effective in doing the right things. And uh, what a bonus having both those guys logging those kind of minutes and consistently doing all the good things they need to do to allow the team a chance to win each and every night.
They play really well that system, Chris, that Marty wants them to play, being very aggressive in the neutral zone defensively and not even allowing them a chance to get into the offensive zone. I know you had a chance to watch the game against Vancouver from Jeff Molson's seat right behind the bench. What stood out to you watching the way they play from that angle?
I might as well have been watching on TV because I was looking up. My neck is still bothering me from looking up at the goddamn screen all night. You don't see much. If I was standing on the bench, it'd be a different story. But people are moving. It's hard to really see out there watching the game live. But Mike Matheson, certainly he went from being the first power play no longer. Now he's stepped up in a big way, penalty killing. So a lot of that energy he was putting into the offensive game before, has kind of been limited, especially taking off the first power play. And, they reward him with a contract. He's been consistent. He's done anything they've asked him to do, and he's played well. And he's really, he's impressed me. And a lot of times in the early going here, he was taking a lot of heat because he was struggling in his own end of the rink. It's not always just on one guy. That's on five guys, that defensive game. And when there's breakdowns consistently, other guys are going to have to try and cover. And sometimes, you end up getting burnt and you're scratching your head. How that happened? Then you look at game tape and you go, okay, here's the first breakdown, here's the second one, and here I am. And a lot of times I think Mike was taking a lot of undue bullshit from a lot of the fan base because of a lot of those things. I'm not saying his play was perfect by any means, but when you're in that situation, when everybody's collectively trying to pick up a system, learn it, apply it, and get it done, man, there's going to be a lot of breakdowns, and there were. And I think he took a lot of abuse for that. But boy, he's really shown his value to this team the past couple of years here. There's no question.
Yeah, Rick, I wrote a column this week saying that you could make a pretty strong argument that he's been the MVP for this team this season, not just because what he does on the ice, but off the ice as a mentor and a leader with such a young crew. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I also have to make a comment about the defensive core as a group. I'm amazed how the green light is given to these guys to just get up in the play no matter what. I mean, you look at a number of the games, you can see the defensemen down behind the opposition's net. You can see them, involved all the time in every part of the offensive rush. And they're able to do it because their teammates understand they're going, so I'm going to cover for them. And
leave it up to the forwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
The results speak themselves. They're getting goals. They're getting a lot of points from their defensive group because they are involved. I mean, Carey 2 goals the other night. They're just like, go. Everybody go. Every rush, go for it because you can, and somebody's going to cover for you. And wow, what a part of the game that is really, really impacting how effective they are offensively when those guys are jumping in there and really making the difference when it comes to creating offensive chances. And it's working. Yes, there's going to be occasion where there's going to be breakdowns and you get some odd man rushes, but if you have possession of the puck, the odd man rushes become limited, and they're pretty good at it. I'm quite impressed with that defensive.
It is fun to watch from the press box because you see the forwards coming back and the defense go and the defense come back. It's like you can't play that system if you don't trust the forwards, right, Knuckles?
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, I was sitting there the other night, and you talk about Carrier, that second goal going right to the crease there like that, like both of them. But he, it was so cool sitting behind the bench there when he came. You should have seen the smiles and the happiness on the face of not just him, everybody. Like everybody was so happy for him, right? It's so cool to watch. It just sitting there that close, it brings back those memories, right? Of when I would score a goal and everybody be laughing.
Well, he also pitched. He came close getting a hat trick that night too. Not shortly after that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just a sign of how much fun this team is having together and the close bond they've built. Anyway, that's it for this bonus episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll have a couple of more bonus episodes coming up over the next few days, so you can look for those. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. And in case you didn't already know, Hockey Inside Out is also available now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you can find us there.